For some reason, another adaptation of War of the Worlds has been made, but this is nothing like the 2005 film starring Tom Cruise, which was a great sci-fi film. This 2025 version, starring Ice Cube, Eva Longoria, and Greg Clark, has got to be one of the worst sci-fi films. No, it's actually one of the worst films I've ever seen. No, what am I saying? It is the worst film I've ever seen. No exaggeration. I'm not even being remotely hyperbolic. I'm astounded that someone thought this was a good idea. But on second thought, maybe they didn't. Maybe they just wanted to produce some throwaway content for Amazon Prime. Because that's exactly what it feels like. Mere fixture fulfillment. This film was directed by Rich Lee and written by Kenneth A. Gold and Mark Hyman. Okay, so the story. Ice Cube plays a Department of Homeland Security officer named Will Radford, and he basically uses a computer during an alien invasion, and we get the pleasure of watching him use a computer, talking to people online, watching video clips, news reports, reading things, working with his hacker son to hack into stuff. The film takes place entirely through a computer desktop. That's the lens of the film. It's called a screenlife film, which is just another way of saying the film looks like something someone made using some screen recorder software. The entire film is just people talking through desktop computers and phones and webcams, looking at social media, doing video calls and private messaging. All the while, aliens arrive on Earth via meteor crashes, and these aliens feed on our data. They feed on our computer data. They congregate around data centers, and Radford discovers a top secret program called Goliath, and there's a conspiracy where the government knew about the aliens from some time ago. But anyway, in the end, Radford works with some hackers to hit the aliens with a computer virus, basically, but it doesn't work, and they all end up having to hide in a bunker. Anyway, I'm just astounded this film got made. There's nothing to talk about here. It doesn't even feel like there's anything for me to review, because it doesn't feel like I just watched a film. It looks like an extremely cheap, very alternative, very low budget indie movie that you might see at like 2 a.m. on some foreign cable TV network. It just screams tax write-off. I found this film painfully unwatchable. And I think what they were trying to do was make a film that portrayed how the average person might observe the story, the major story of an alien invasion unfolding through the technology we use every day, through our media, through our phones, the internet, etc. So today, obviously, our devices are the medium by which we interact with the world and how we see the world and learn things. But this kind of idea might sound initially interesting for like 5 seconds at a writer's room brainstorming meeting, but very quickly it should become obvious, right? The static nature of that film should have made this a non-starter. This should never have gotten the green light. Shockingly, it's really not fun or dramatic or exciting to watch people sit on group chats and type messages to each other. It's really not all that engaging to see a person watch YouTube videos and type passwords into dialog boxes and use mapping software, right? The film has also been criticized for featuring prominent product placement like Amazon and Microsoft and so forth. Now, what's kind of amusing but not surprising, the Rotten Tomatoes score, just 3% for all critics, and an audience score of 22%, which I gotta tell you, that's a surprise, because I think it's 21% too generous. The IMDb score is 2.7 out of 10. Metacritic score, just 1.4 out of 10. I would give this film probably a 0. I mean, it's not worth rating. Now, the subject matter of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds story, it's big, it's exciting, it's expansive, and it's terrifying. It's not something to be confined inside of computer screens and WhatsApp. That's a way of utterly undermining and destroying tension and suspense and excitement. I think that completely devalues such an amazing story. And I mean, talk about wasting potential. This is how not to make a sci-fi movie. It's how not to make a film in general. Even if I could accept this screen life format of filmmaking, which I can't, I still don't think that any part of me could find this film anything other than laughably bad. It's not enjoyable, it's just dreadful, it should not have been made. Avoid this film at all costs. I hope we never see anything like this again. And look, I'm all for new and creative ways of making films. I'm all for innovation and ingenuity and all that sort of stuff. Format-breaking films. This is not an example of that. This is just bad. It's simply bad. I don't believe that this is a film that is going to be appreciated many years down the line and considered in the annals of filmmaking history and critique as being a film that was ahead of its time. You know, I don't think that that's the case. I don't think that's what we're dealing with here. You know, in fact, calling it a film, it feels weird calling it a film, to be honest. It doesn't even look like a film. It looks like a scripted live stream. So, yeah, I mean, so to give you an example of just how bad it is, by comparing it to films that I really dislike and have no intentions of ever watching a second time, films that are so bad, but I would still rather rewatch them than rewatch this. For example, a film I truly loathe, Terminator Dark Fate. I would rather rewatch Terminator Dark Fate than this. I would rather rewatch The Marvels than this. I'd rather rewatch The Flash or Blue Beetle than watch this again. This film is not just bottom of the barrel. It's not even in the barrel. It's below the barrel. So yeah, if you do watch this film, if you do sit down to watch this horrid War of the Worlds 2025 edition, I think you'll probably make it 10 minutes into the film, 20 minutes at best, before you'll turn it off. Those are my thoughts, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've seen this film, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, I shall wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit that like button, leave a comment below, share the video out there. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified of future updates on the channel. Take care, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.